Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chelsea. I am from the blog The Cottage Vegetable, and this week I'm just going to show you a few things that I did in my kitchen and my garden. I'm first going to show you how you can make a sourdough sandwich loaf in a cake pan. Now, I accidentally discovered this out of desperation, so it is getting hot and humid up here. We have no air conditioning, which I'm not complaining about that, but that also means that I am not running my oven for freshly made bread every single day. So each week I take a couple of days where I make double batches like this that you see. This is a double batch of sandwich loaf dough, and I will bake 2 breads at a time, and I will usually do that for 2 days, so I have 4 loaves of bread for the week. Through this, I discovered that I only have one bread pan that's glass to make like the typical sandwich loaf shape, but I'm not going to run my oven for hours to bake 2 loaves in that pan. So I pulled out my cake pan, and it turns out that you definitely can bake a loaf of bread in a cake pan. So this dough that you see here is the one I'm preparing to put in the cake pan. So my cake pan is round, so I can't do a log shaped loaf. I mean, I guess I could, but the ball just works a little bit better. So on a floured surface, I rolled it into a ball because you need a floured surface because sandwich loaf dough is sticky, and actually it turns out better if it's sticky dough, not so sticky to where you can't handle it, but if you want that nice fluffy airy bread, a sticky wet dough is what you want. Shape it into a ball, and then I have a Pyrex bowl. It's a smaller one. I don't know how many quarts it holds or anything like that, but it's round. It's not a square bottom. As you can tell, it's a round bowl. Let it sit in there with a floured tea towel. I'm going to let them both rise for an hour. I bake my sourdough sandwich loaves at 400 for 50 minutes. As you can tell, I put parchment paper at the bottom of the cake pan, but you guys, it turned out perfect. As you can tell, the cake pan loaf is actually bigger than the bread pan loaf, and I baked 2 more loaves in cake pans, and they turned out exactly the same as the one that you are seeing, and so I can attest that it does work. After I've baked them, I let them completely cool before slicing into them. I am going to stick these into the freezer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-slice them, which here I'm going to show you the center cut of that cake pan loaf. Turns out beautiful, by the way. I want to stick them into the freezer, just in a freezer bag. And we just like to, my kids love toast and toasted bread, so we use the toaster to heat them back up to thaw them out and all that, and it tastes like you just baked it. It's actually a good life hack. If you feel like you don't have time to bake bread every day all week long, then you can easily just bake all your loaves in 1 day or 2 days like I do. Stick them in the freezer and use your toaster to reheat them up, and you can feed your family your fresh bread all week long. So this is the next morning. I have a jar of very soapy water, and I am on a hunt for Japanese beetles. I got these ones last night, and I'm going to do a little bit more this morning because at night and in the morning it's almost like these bugs are paralyzed and they don't crawl or fly away, and it's perfect time to catch them. I got to go over to my grapevine and do the same, but that is one of the things I've been doing in my garden recently, is trying to get rid of these Japanese beetles. I know it's kind of disheartening to see your garden get pummeled by pests, but there's always something you can do. And Japanese beetles, I feel like the best way is just to take soapy water and go around and manually catch them. So my cucumber plants are exploding, and it is time to do actually some preserving with them. I'm not super sure if I'm gonna make canned pickles or just make fridge pickles. Later this afternoon, I'm gonna see how many I get and go from there. But yes, definitely have some cucumbers to pick today. I also have some heads of cabbages that are ready to go too. Just surprising. So I planted these in the very high heat of June, and they're all doing really good. So that is exciting also. Every year I grow Wisconsin SMR 78 pickling cucumbers. These are very prolific, disease-resistant pickling cucumbers. They are the only pickling cucumbers I grow anymore. As you can tell, over 3 days I've gotten several. I've eaten plenty of them fresh, and I'm going to show you my bread and butter pickles. Bread and butter pickles are actually very easy. You first start off with a salty ice bath with onions and cucumbers. You let that sit for a long time. Then you bring all your ingredients, including your brine, up to a boil. You're just going to fill your jars up, debubble, wipe the rims. It's a water bath canning recipe. You water bath can for 10 minutes, and then you have to let pickles sit for about a month or longer before you can taste them, so the flavors develop. But this was a very easy way to kick off pickling season. I even want to try some fermented pickles, and I know I got to can up some dill pickles too. It was also that time of the week to replace my cut flowers on my table. I feel cut flowers are a sure sign of summer, and why not go out to your garden and just pull a few little blooms in to admire. I love autumn colored flowers. When I buy seeds, that's what I lean to, and now that it's July and everything is starting to become full bloom, I feel like I can easily ease the dog days of summer by bringing some of those beautiful colors into our space. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.